MIgardener, and man, do I feel great. My allergies are not nearly as bad as they were, and boy, am I excited to come to you guys today. I have some super cool stuff to talk about. I also have some updates on what's been growing on, and in this bed right here, obviously you don't see any more broccoli and spinach. The broccoli went to seed. Well, it made a little head, and I got it before it went to seed, and we harvested that. Then we also harvested all the spinach because it bolted, because obviously here we're having 80+ degree days, high 70s, so spinach doesn't really like that. Now if you were to get like a Malabar spinach or something, it's not a true spinach, but they're a little bit more heat tolerant. But I don't really mind because we got our fill of spinach, and we also harvested all of the spinach like when it was bolting, kind of before it got bitter. And so I'm actually going to show you guys in the next upcoming video how to freeze spinach. So that's going to be really fun, and it's going to be really interesting because it's going to be the first time I've ever done it, but I know you can get it kind of at stores and stuff. So that's what we're going to do for that video, and that should be coming up fairly soon. Now, I decided that we love potatoes a lot, and last year I only had one potato bed, and they did pretty good. But why not have two potato beds so you can have 2 times as much as you get? And I had a lot of extra seed potato slices from when I planted my bed behind me. And so I thought, well, I got nothing else that I really need to plant. I have enough tomato plants here. I could always plant more. I know that's kind of earth-shattering that I didn't want to plant anymore, but I kind of wanted some more variety. So I planted some potatoes here. I planted Kennebec White, and I planted a Pontiac Redskin. So that's going to be pretty cool, and I kind of have them in succession now because the plants behind me are doing really well, and then these ones are obviously just starting. So when I'm harvesting the ones behind me, well, then they won't all get pigged out on, and we can have some throughout the whole entire year. Then over there, you can't see it, but I had the other spinach bed, pulled all that out. That's also going to be in the how to freeze spinach video. And I planted eggplants. I'll show you in a little bit, but I planted eggplants. I planted a dark green zucchini and a yellow zucchini there because I've mosquito. Hey, how's it going? All right. So that's not going to go in the bloopers reel. I just totally had a mosquito fly right in my eye, and got him. All right, cool. So yeah, it's cool. It's fun. It's all good. That mosquito just really threw off my track there. So today I'll be talking to you guys about mosquitoes. Today I'll be talking to you guys about tomato plants. Now, there's a lot of discussion on whether or not planting deep is good, and I thought I'd just come to you guys today to explain to you that there's some common myths about tomato plants. And a lot of people think that if you plant it deep, that it won't put out roots. That is 100% false, and a lot of people also think that if you do plant it deep, it'll put out roots on the stem, but only in the top like 2 inches. That is also false. Mosquito. I got sweet blood, what can I say? But the tomato plants, when you plant them deep, it's essential to let the soil dry out because it's going to stress the plant into putting out more roots. A lot like a cactus has a deep root system. When you don't water as much, it's going to force the plant to put out roots to go look for water. And then once you notice the soil's getting noticeably dry, don't kill the plant, but once you notice the soil's getting noticeably dry, then you can soak the soil. And what I do is I actually make a mixture of compost tea and water to soak the soil, and that's going to feed all those roots, because that way you can keep the roots alive, because you have to think of the root system as your body. If you're in really cold water, the first thing to go is the thing that it doesn't need the most. So like your limbs, it doesn't need, so it just drops them off. If you have roots down in the soil that aren't getting water and nutrients, the plant just drops them because it has to keep maintaining those roots. It has to keep putting energy into them, and if it's not getting anything back, there's no point. So it just cuts it off, and there's no root growth. That's why you see a big root ball and nothing here, and then a little massive roots up by the topsoil, because that's where it's called the rhizosphere. Really complicated word for that's where the beneficial bacteria and the nutrients are. It's the little zone of life that can feed the plant, from like just dust falling to grass dying to leaves dropping and decomposing. That's where all that stuff settles, and so that's where you get a little layer of nutrients, and then there's a layer of no nutrients or no water, either or, whichever one it is. That's why it's essential to, number one, water with compost tea very deep, so you get all of the roots, so everything is going to be obtaining nutrients, and also you're going to be keeping those roots alive where it's not going to be getting too dry. So I just thought I'd clarify that. Myth number 2, that if you lay down a plant, it's going to be better than planting deep. That's also not true. If you lay down the plant and plant in like what's called a trench method, works. Not bashing the method at all. Actually, MIgardener does that, and he's had great results. He has beautiful tomatoes. I just personally don't like it because it takes up a little bit more space, because you have to allow 2 feet for that trench, and then the plant grows up. Where if you just plant it right in, then it's going to grow straight up, and you don't really have to worry about digging another hole and worry about cutting the stem, because sometimes if you lose track for where it is, you have to like flag it, so when you're digging your next hole, you don't cut the stem and then chop it off. Just little pros and cons. I mean, it will put out roots, but a lot of people think that it's better. It's really not. As long as as long as you're getting it in the soil deeper, that's all that matters. Because the reason why it will put out roots in the top two inches of the soil and make it look like it's better is because, again, it goes back to the rhizosphere, where that's the only level where there is nutrients. So it's going to put out roots, and it's going to put out roots all along the stem. So it's going to give the effect that it actually is working, when in reality, if you were just having it planted deep, straight in the ground, and you were watering it with compost tea and nutrients, and watering it and feeding the beneficial bacterias, you'd have just as much root growth as if you laid it down in a trench. Alright, so that's enough myth busting. I'm going to leave that to the myth busters. I'm going to actually go show you guys what's been growing on over in the other beds, and I'll show you guys some pretty exciting stuff. So obviously here we have our potatoes, which you saw. Peppers are doing good. As we're walking over here, this is the eggplants. I have one white eggplant, and then I have 3. It's a striped beauty eggplant, a nice old-fashioned heirloom eggplant. It's not the classic black beauty, but it'll work. Then I have a dark green zucchini here, a dark green zucchini there, and dark green zucchini down there, as you can see right there. And then I have a early prolific yellow zucchini there, another early prolific yellow zucchini there, and a yellow zucchini there. The cucumbers are coming up pretty decent, as you can see. There's some pretty decent growth here. As you can see, they're doing very good, getting really nice and big. There's some over there. Something ate that one a little bit, but as you can see, I have plenty more that are doing great. My Swiss chard is doing excellent. Again, it's coming back from the deer that attacked it, but you got a lot more that's coming up, as you can see there, and so I'm not complaining at all. I harvested the cauliflower because it actually started separating to form its actual flowers, so I'm sorry I didn't get to show you guys that. I should have tied it up. I should have tied the heads up like a lot of people were saying earlier, but I didn't get the time to save it. It was too late. And my cabbage is actually beginning to form a head, and these things are mammoth. Look at how big these leaves are. These leaves are just enormous. I mean, I got a huge hand, and I can't even express to you how large these leaves are. I mean, they are huge, huge cabbage leaves. So I am definitely pleased with what this compost tea is doing. Every day I'm coming out here and watering with compost tea, and it's amazing stuff. This is another variety of cabbage. That is a Copenhagen cabbage. This is a Marketmore cabbage. And these are just beautiful, really glossy leaves. All of these are. And this is going to form a purple cabbage. Hopefully nothing gets into them. I've been treating with stuff. And tomatoes, obviously, doing totally amazing. Tomatoes are doing great. Oh man, I cannot stress how amazing that super starter mix is doing. If you guys would like to see what I put in my soil, if you haven't already seen already, I'll put an annotation. So make sure you have your annotations turned on. And I have quite a bit of big Zac flowers right there. And I have some more right there. So it's going to be putting out some fruit fairly soon. Just amazing plants. I'm so happy with these. Could not be happier. Occasionally you have to do that, but it's all good. And then obviously here is the banana legs. These are just outrageous tomatoes. I still am stunned by the yields, or the flowers. Maybe not the yields, but who knows? I don't know. They're exploding. But yeah, I also had one more thing I wanted to show you guys. We got a nice rain the other night, and as you guys can see, got some beans sprouting. Thank you. Oh, that's gonna be great. They wanted to sprout so badly. And over here, as you can see, got some beans. They wanted to sprout so badly, you could tell, but they just didn't have the rain. And also here, I'll give you an idea for how big our slugs are. It's about half my finger. So we're gonna exterminate him. Sorry for all you animal lovers, but that's what I do to them. I just skewer them on a stick. That was pretty graphic, but I hate them so much. They will decimate your garden. Anyways, all right. So that's all I got for you guys today. As always, remember to grow big or go home. Catch you later, YouTube. Bye.